Hello and welcome back to another video on WrestleMania and to NXT Vengeance Day out of 10. Yeah, a lot of big matches advertised for this kind of pay-per-view. And yeah, included Joe Hendry versus Ricky Saints for the NXT Championship, Clarny Jordan Load of Ice Underground match, and then Jada Parker, Blake Monroe in a street fight, and that's what kicked off the show. Both women came to the ring clad in black. As soon as the ref called for the bell, they started brawling. They took the first few minutes out of the ring, and Parker tried to set up a table, but Monroe took her out with an umbrella, put the tables away, and started filling the ring with chairs. Anyone who's followed Monroe's career knows she's great in hardcore style matches, and Parker did a good job matching her energy to take it to a hard-fought street fight. Both women took some painful-looking shots from various weapons, but it seemed like Parker took a bit more damage while the Glamour was in control. Even though this bout had a couple of weak moments, as a whole it was a fun outing from two of NXT's most prominent women. Monroe was able to get the women with the DDT onto a pile of fake diamonds. So yeah, overall, this gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought this was, good stuff. As we then moved on to Dion Lennox versus Tony D. Lennox was waiting for Tony D in the parking lot along with the rest of Dark State. Tony had someone else drive his car so he could jump Lennox from behind with a crowbar. After a short brawl in the parking lot, D'Angelo was able to lock everyone else out with a garage door so he could fight Lennox alone. The rest of Dark State found a way inside, but Tony D fought them off. They were beating each other all over the backstage area, though this was supposed to be a standard match that hadn't technically started yet. D'Angelo got some backup from ATM to fight off the rest of Dark State again. They crashed through a wall into the arena. The match finally got started with both men entering the ring. It was a very physical fight from start to finish. May not have been pretty, but if you look at the matches to look painful, then you probably enjoyed this. Lennox had really come into his own as a performer recently, and Tony D was a great dance partner for him in this bout. After a few close calls, D'Angelo was able to secure the win with a huge spine buster. And yeah, I thought good first outing for him as his new character, 7 out of 10. As we then moved on to the Women's North American title match, with Damon Paxley swearing off Spears and Vance at ringside. Paxley took control almost immediately and took the fight out of the ring. She took Dame down with a rolling senton from the steps, but she ended up being driven at the same steps a moment later. Once they got back in the ring, Dame was the one controlling the pace. Paxley would have a short burst of offense, but the champ kept finding ways to put her down. Well, both women brought a lot of energy into the ring. They had a few many sloppy moments. There weren't any major botches, but there was a lot of moves that looked off or came close to not working at all. After losing several times, Paxley prevailed, then she hit her finisher for the pin to become North American champion. The way the match ended was definitely the best part, but yeah, on the whole, I'm not sure if it really clicked totally for me. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Moving on then to Jordan and Vice, who've been feuding for a long time, and they were looking to close this chapter with an NXT Underground match. Vice came into this with a broken hand, so she was immediately at a disadvantage, despite the stipulation being her speciality. She was 3-0 in the Underground matches heading into this one. The lighting was terrible. We understand WWE wants to give the stipulation a different feel, but it was actually hard to see what was going on. Vice kept Jordan down and attacking submissions, but Lani kept finding ways to counter and focus on Nola's injured hand. She used the ring post to inflict some extra damage. Having a bunch of wrestlers surround the ring was cool, but it's hard to believe this town any better than the standard match would have been. It didn't feel like an MMA fight, it was just a wrestling match throughout the ropes. Both women did their best and had a couple of stand-up moments, but any stipulation would have been served better. Vice ended up scoring a TKO victory to bring this to a close. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. As we then moved on to the main event, Hendry against Saints, and the champ had the size advantage, and he made sure he took control early and started running Saints from corner to corner, chopping him till his chest was red. On a night where most of the matches felt chaotic, it was really surprising we got a standard match at the end, but not a bad thing. They still did a good job making it entertaining without needing to use a bunch of weapons or spots that relied on parts of the set. Ethan Page came out and stared at the NXT title. He slid into the ring, but he pushed it too far, so both men ended up getting their hands on it. The ref took it away, and while his back was turned, Ricky hit a low blow, followed by his finisher for a close 2. Hendry got some payback while he hit a low blow from behind his rest back. That allowed him to hit a chokeslam for the pin and win. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And overall, Vengeance Day, it had some highlights, but if we compare it to recent NXT events, I'd say it falls in the middle. Nothing exceptionally bad, but nothing that was going to be great. I thought, got a great start of a street fight and closed it solidly. Paxley winning the title was a nice surprise. But yeah, I don't know. It has its issues, I think, this show, but one thing you can't fault is the way it's highlighted the women's division really well. And yeah, that's definitely a good thing. Guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.